the Ladies Challenge Plate, men's 8, Yale University, the winners last year. This is the semi-final, Nereus against East India Club. Nereus of the Netherlands on the Berkshire station, ready to go.
Attention.
Clean start again, lots of power alongside Temple Island. Heading upstream, just make out the skyline of Henley. The end of the shot, a long way to go. More than 2 kilometres worth of rowing ahead of these 2/8s. East India Club just nudging it. They're here on a charity cause, aren't they, the East India Club?
Yeah, they're here to raise money. You know, they're raising money for sarcoma cancer. So they're a group of guys that got together trying to raise money and come to Henley as a unit. And then to the Ladies Plate, or Ladies Challenge Plate.
The East India Club and Martyrs Boat Club to give them the full title. And in the stroke seat, just heading down the course, Myatt, Cox Marshall.
And they're up against a really experienced Nereus crew. You know, Nereus, I'm not sure it's the same guys, but they won the Temple last year, which was an extremely fast crew, and they've stepped up to the ladies this year. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Leander waits the winner of this particular race in the final. And these early stages, it looks like it could be Nereus.
Yeah, Nereus, who have absolutely flown off Temple Island and have really grabbed this race by the scruff of the neck, seizing the early initiative. And this would be some turnaround if anything other than a Dutch victory were to occur. Must be pretty hard work for the East India Club and Martyrs Boat Club this early on in the race to know that they've lost touch with the Dutch. Maybe mentally very demanding.
Yeah, and had a big kind of fundraising dinner last night, the East India Club, raising money, as we said, for sarcoma cancer.
So Nereus, as you mentioned, 5 rowers from last year's crew that won the Temple Challenge Cup. Took 2nd place at the International Heineken Regatta, and the Dutch National 8 in front of them. So that's a mark of their quality. Dutch National 8 regarded as right up there as one of the best in the world, so they've competed on the biggest stages.
Yeah, and they've got a great chance of being very successful at this summer's Olympics in Rio, so it's going to be interesting to see, you know, obviously how they get on, but the great depth they have in talent now in kind of in Holland.
And it's they who enjoy the emphatic advantage early on in this race. Just, the wind has dropped, actually, hasn't it, in the last couple of minutes, but now again picking up. It's so intermittent and gusty, isn't it? You don't know what you're going to get for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and as an athlete, you'd rather just have a constant wind because you know it's going to stay the same. But at the moment, as you just mentioned,
unpredictable.
It's very unpredictable, and it just keeps gusting, and then it's calm, gusts come again. As an athlete, it is unsettling when you're trying to get into a rhythm, and you know you're working hard.
Van den End is the Cox, who was gesturing for exactly that, just what Mark was talking about there, the rhythm. He'll be pretty satisfied with what his boat has produced so far on the Berkshire station. It looks very, very controlled and composed, and they're not going to increase that rate at all, are they, between now and the finish line if they don't need to? Or just ease the boat home.
They're going to be trying to conserve as much energy as they can now for the final, so it's going to be interesting to see. You know, just decide to do a burst there, be a 15, maybe 20-stroke burst, just to liven things up a bit for themselves. But it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how Leander get on, because Leander obviously had that really tough race against Cal earlier, but they won just by a brand length. And the kind of Nereus crew are just getting to kind of, you know, do the first section of the race and just getting to kind of paddle the last half.
So the Leander boat, the crew there, will be watching this race, if not with horror, then slightly frustrated that they haven't been given more of a test.
Yeah, and also they won't be able to learn a lot from it because, you know, the Nereus crew hasn't been pushed, so they won't know their speed at particular markers. So that's going to be quite interesting. And as an athlete, you know, you want as much information as possible so you can start predicting what you're going to do and what kind of position you're going to be in during the race.
Yeah, it's a procession at the moment, and unless calamity strikes, it'll be the Dutch up against Leander tomorrow afternoon in the Ladies Challenge Plate final. But drop the rate right off as they head towards Stewards. See the big marquee roof, the big grandstand roof on the left-hand side there.
And you can see the crews kind of on the kind of right side of the course as we look at the images, and they're all kind of, you know, they've just gone out. It's at lunchtime now, so they can go out and have a paddle, and these crews will be racing later on today.
They'll be watching this Dutch crew on the Berkshire station, just easing their way along. It's been ever so easy, and that's as easy a victory as we've seen all week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's, you know, they'll be enjoying that. They get to relax, you know, take in the kind of atmosphere of rowing for the Stewards enclosure with a nice lead. But, you know, they will try and stay in their bubble, stay focused, be working on technical things that they can put into place for tomorrow.
Is there a danger they learn any bad habits after doing this? Because it is so easy, isn't it? And I mean, it won't be that complacent tomorrow, I'm sure.
No, it's always awkward because, you know, when you come to regatta, you kind of want to race from start to finish, obviously as hard as can, and kind of progress and move on each day. Some people like rest days, some people don't. Personally, you know, when I was racing, I preferred to race back-to-back days because you got into the swing of it.
Yeah, well, you can just stagnate a bit potentially, couldn't you, if you had a race like this to mull on for 24 hours?
Yeah, because you've only done the first section, and then they've been able to kind of paddle the last section of the race. Remember, they're kind of here, the kind of East India Club, Martyrs Boat Club are here to race cancer by sarcoma. So, you know, if there's anybody that wants to donate some money, feel free to do so.
Yeah, good cause. And they are not too far away from the finish line now. Haven't been able to stay in contention with the mighty boat from Holland. Nereus always got good crews on the water, and this is no exception. The Ladies Challenge Plate. Final few strokes. Just paddling up to the line now. Easy victory. Getting a good, respectful round of applause. We've seen more thrilling races in this session, but that's impressive nonetheless. The Dutch sped away from East India Club and Martyrs early on in the race, and it never looked in doubt. So we'll see Nereus of Holland in the final tomorrow, up against Leander. Be a good crash.